Good afternoon, friends and traders. Welcome to the Market Recap. I'm Dan Hodgman. It is Tuesday, March 23rd. Looks like we had some pretty good days coming from these comments so far. Love to see those things. And would love to know what you guys use to get in on some of these great trades. Level 2, I know we've been talking a little bit today. Really excited to see that. Murph, love when I see a comment in here, 3 good opportunities. Missed one, mismanaged one, and hit one. So a good day. To be able to walk away on a good day, there was no FOMO. Hey, we missed out on that opportunity. We'll wait. We got time. We can be patient. Hey, you know what? The one didn't go well. That's all right. I got another one coming. And boom, we can hit it on the third one and be successful. I'd love to see that stuff. Sean, glad to see you got some good opportunity in the NQ. Love to see these comments here. And, man, love seeing all of it. Bill, Tanya, good to see you guys as well. I hope everyone had a spectacular day. Opportunities were there. Came into some great levels. We have GameStop earnings coming out here. Should be any moment coming up soon. So if I don't catch it and you guys see it, drop it in the comments. So if someone does see it, we can talk about what's going on and check on what's going on with GameStop. Right now we're trading 181.75. So GameStop is down a little bit here today. I think it's just everyone waiting on what's going on with the earnings. Other news, things we want to be thinking about. There's a lot of conversation around what's going on with the taxes and the plans there. The Fed sets up a panel to examine risks that climate change poses to the financial system. That's going to be an interesting conversation, no doubt about that. And stocks, they're down. They gave it up a little bit. This is the 1-year anniversary of last year's low. And just for perspective, in the S&P 500, on the continuous chart, not contract based, but continuous, the low was 2174. And here we are, not too far off of that 4,000 mark. Would have been a wild thing to sit here and say that doubled in 1 year. Maybe almost too wild and unbelievable if that was the case, but hey, still just shy of 4,000 right now. Stocks, S&P's down a little bit, but still 3,900 in that S&P. So that's a huge change in 1 year's time. I hope everyone bought the bottom and ran this thing all the way up for the last year. That would have been a cool thing. Crude oil. Big sell-off in the crude oil over there. Crude oil down 6.5% here today. So big short opportunity. Really, I was looking at it right off the open. We kind of hit that wall up at 59.50 and kind of a pop right after equity open. But from there, we returned, and continuation to the downside is on. S&P 500 checking that overnight high and breaking from there. Same thing with crude oil, runs up to yesterday's swing high. And I'm hoping that's where you guys saw the opportunity. We saw a great chance there. Gold opened up this morning at settlement price, and from then on, broke hard. And it came to the low side of a channel we discussed a little bit yesterday. I threw it on the chart so that we could see this area, because I've said this a lot. I'll continue to say this, and John says this just as much as I do. These are not finite levels. They're areas, and we want to get an idea of what we're looking at when we look at these areas. So we'll take a look at that one. Euro, just a steady sell-off since the London Open last night, and really just continued. Gave a couple pullbacks, a couple chances to hop in, and the 10-year note pushes higher as we see yields come off a little bit. So good opportunity, things working the way they're supposed to, right? We see some things working out nicely, others not so much. Correlations, man, they've kind of gone out the window here the last couple years. Still like to watch them, still like to keep an eye on them, and nonetheless, every so often they pay out when we find some good opportunity utilizing those. Let's go ahead and take a look at these charts and see just what we have going on here today. As always, we're going to start with our crude oil. So, like we said, here's where we saw the little bit of a pop this morning. Off the open, market opened up and really started to look higher. Hard to argue. Man, maybe it's going to come back and close the gap to settlement price. Now, here's where we're looking. Here's what's catching my attention. We have 2 value area lows. We didn't trade much yesterday during regular trading hours. So to put to see this market come all the way up here, we want to see how it reacts as it approaches prior areas of value. We saw rejection as soon as the market came up to it, and maybe this is not where you're getting in, but I do look at this as a great opportunity for short right up here at 59. We're going to call it 59.85 approximately. We can look at this and say, here's a great opportunity for a short. Market has been trending lower throughout the overnight. We've been seeing these bigger down days post some of these kind of slow up days. So we have a chance to possibly catch that short. If you were looking short, great opportunity. Now, if you're looking long, this is an area I'd be a little bit more patient. I wouldn't hop in the second we come to that value area low, but I'll be more looking at this and saying, all right, let's see if we can show some acceptance up above this 85. If we hold above 85, I can look for an opportunity to the long side. Not the case. Rejected pretty quickly, and as soon as it showed that rejection, if you didn't get in there, well, then we got to find one of these opportunities for pullback, an area where that market's showing it pulls back just a little bit. And question is, we're going to place our stop on these pullbacks. That's where it gets a little bit more difficult. If we're choosing to get in with trend instead of reversals or areas like that, we got to ask ourselves those questions. And typically for me, it's looking up above where those candles have kind of ended. And those are things that I got to weigh for myself on each and every trade. Where am I looking? Well, I start to notice volume nodes at that 23. Okay, where's volume light? 35. I want to put my stop possibly a little bit above 35 to maybe find a chance. Next, let's go ahead and look at the S&P 500. So here's what I like. We opened up and we pushed right to overnight high and yesterday's value area high. Sets up beautifully for an opportunity. Plain and simple, we can look at this right here, 39.39, 39.38, 3/4, whatever. And we know yesterday's highs up here at 44.5. So we've got an idea. We can look at this and say, look, if I'm willing to take 5 points of risk, what's my profit? Well, we get settlement down here. That's putting us close to 9 points. All right, so if market can give me an opportunity at 39, I can put my stop up above yesterday's high. I'm running about a 6-point stop, and at least I have an idea down to settlement price. But where else am I looking? How much further can this thing go down? Well, then we got value area lows. We've been maintaining that overnight trend. Maybe we can start to come check those overnight lows. Well, it exploded right through yesterday's value area low, continued on down through the overnight low, and back towards Friday's point of control. So great opportunities there. Next, let's go ahead and look at the NASDAQ. So like we said, NASDAQ opened up and pushed higher, just like S&Ps, but this one came right to, again, yesterday's value area high, checks yesterday's high of the day. Great opportunities once again to look for a trade. If we can get that short up here, we can look to run this thing down to settlement price and possibly right down to value area low yesterday, overnight low. I cannot stress it enough. Looking at these areas, these overnight highs, overnight lows, prior day high, prior day low, prior day value high, prior day value low. Key levels to be looking at for opportunities, especially when a market has stayed inside. It creates good opportunity, helps us find those asymmetric opportunities. Remember, we want to risk much less than our reward. And these are areas that we can look for some of those opportunities. If it starts to accept outside of that, then we got to adjust. But it really didn't accept outside of that on these opportunities. And those are things that we want to pay attention to. All right, next, let's go ahead and look at the gold market, which, like we said, so here's what I like. The overnight, we just continued to float at yesterday's highs. It didn't get above there, didn't hold up above, did not show any acceptance up above. And for us, it sets up a great opportunity to look for some sort of short. Market started to go. Where are we looking for this thing to go? Well, my first inclination is the last couple swing lows we've had right down here at 17, we're going to call it 1727. We'll just say, keep round number simple, 1727. But this is what I was talking about. When we look at areas, levels are not finite. We've got multiple swing lows in this rectangle I've thrown down here over the last week and a half or so. Multiple swing lows where this market has been reactive, extremely reactive. And what I'm noticing now is we're really holding on this level. Does that mean we're starting to maybe break out of the state and look to accept lower? Can't tell you now, but that's something that's running through my head. We'll see how this area continues to hold. And I'll continue to watch this as we move away from it and come back to it. So I think this is going to be a pretty pivotal spot. It's created quite a bit of opportunity over the last week to catch those longs, and maybe it'll lead to an opportunity for a short down the road. Next, let's go ahead and look at the euro. And like I was saying, euro pretty much a steady decline all day, but gave a few pullbacks for an opportunity. Trend has been down for quite some time. Yesterday we saw the first bit of life, but really overnight said, nope, we're going down. And that's exactly what happened here. This is trend trading at its finest. Direction has been chosen. We're maintaining direction we've been seeing for a few days. Great, let's try and find a way to get it on that trend. And we're going to look for these opportunities of pullback. And maybe it's off the open. Or maybe we're waiting until we see equities open. We can catch a pullback a little bit later on. We had multiple opportunities of a pullback for us to hop in on the short side there. Lastly, let's go ahead and look at the 10-year note, which saw a nice opportunity to the upside. We opened up, small little sell-off, and it came to a little bit of congestion from the overnight, but not a ton. Really not a whole lot to pay attention to here. I'm looking at technicals. For me, what's happening here is we've got yields going down. Bonds and notes should move higher. Simple as that, and that's exactly what happened here. Opened up, small little sell-off. We saw the break in the yields. From there, market moved to the upwards direction. So very simple technicals based off, or fundamentals, I should say, based off of what these markets do. All right, guys, those are our markets here today. Again, I hope you guys have all had a spectacular day. Isaac, good to see you. Caught the move down in ES. Love to see that. Point of control and value played like mighty morphing Power Rangers. Outstanding level 2. Didn't buy the bottom last year, but it didn't sell it either. All right, there we go. There's always a positive way to look at it. Let's see. I like that, Tanya. Awesome. Finding ways to look at these markets that really speak to us is important. Everyone's going to see things a little bit differently. And if you can find a way that it speaks to you well and helps you define some areas, stick with it. Mike, good to see you. And same to you, Magnum. All right. I'm not seeing anything yet on GameStop. So if you see something, let me know. But like I said, Treasury yields down. We're still above 1.6 on the 10, but we're down to 1.62. So we lost 0.05 there. And the 30-year, 1.335, down about 0.05 on that one today as well. Next, Tesla continues its little bit of sell-off. Level 2, hope you're not too affected by that one. We're down at 662. Airbnb, 187. So we got good money on Airbnb still, about $40 a share. Our Bitcoin, though, speaking of our buys that we bought this year, Bitcoin still paying us nicely, 54,795. I've been hearing little chirps at the CMEs talking about making smaller contracts for the Bitcoin. That could be kind of fun. And then, like we said, GameStop, it looks like we got a little bit of a pop here. Post hours up to 88. But right now, it's still calling 181, and I'm not seeing anything yet. Let's refresh here. Yep, still not seeing anything on the earnings. All I see 59 minutes ago, they're set to host earnings call. All right, and lastly, the VIX. A little bit of pop here today. No surprise, right? We were down at 19, pretty flat, but we popped. Markets broke. VIX pops. That's pretty standard. Just shy of 21 right now. And then, whoops, I got to refresh something here. So, earnings calendar. Tomorrow, durable goods at 7:30 a.m. Central Time. PMI composite flash, 8:45 a.m. Central Time. Jerome Powell will be speaking at 9. EIA petroleum status, 9:30 a.m. Central Time. So lots going on first thing tomorrow morning. So be patient, be cautious, be prepared. Obviously, if Jerome Powell is speaking, I said Jerome Powell. Yeah, there it is. Whoops. Jerome Powell is speaking. It could lead to some volatility. And then, hey, leading into the rest of this week, don't forget GDP jobless claims Thursday, international trade and good and personal income and outlays on Friday. So just a super heavy economic numbers released this week. All right. And lastly, on this date in history, this one I like. On this day, March 23rd, 1839. Okay. just OK, enters our national vernacular. So OK became a word on this day in 1939. And then I think I've got one more, if I can find it. Nope, apparently not. I thought I had one more. My bad. All right, guys, on that note, oh, yeah, level 2. I like seeing that. So Microsoft is considering buying Discord. No surprise there. They created a great platform. And, of course, one of the big tech companies is going to want to come in and make a move for it. So we'll see. All right, guys, on that note, Hogue will be back tomorrow morning, 8 a.m. Central Time. And don't forget, tomorrow afternoon, Note Recap, we'll be doing our second edition of Technical Analysis webinar. We're going to be talking a little bit more about basics, chart patterns, things of that nature. So make sure you guys join us then. It'll be John and I sitting down around 3 p.m. So bring your questions. Let's talk technical analysis. It's going to be a lot of fun. And other than that, that's what I got for us today. So I hope you guys all had a great day. Stay safe, wash your hands, trade smart, and trade well. I look forward to seeing you guys in the markets. Take care, everybody.